Just trusting others, like, my music is my baby, right? So I hover over it. And, as so many entrepreneurs, there's that separation of like working on the business versus working in the business, right? And so I try to get my hands on as many things as possible because I love the process, but that collaborative effort, around the video really took it to the next level, man.
What's going on, Pizza Fam? Look, I appreciate each one of you for listening to this show, listening to this episode. Before we get back to it, I wanted to tell you about my favorite product right now, Todd's Curry Sauce. I met these guys at the Florida Restaurant Show, Pizza Tomorrow Summit, and I'm telling you, ever since I tried that sauce, I have been putting it on everything in the shop. Chicken wings, pizza, you've seen the pizzas, chicken sandwich, salad dressing, like we've been putting Todd's Curry Sauce on everything, and I'm here to give you a special deal, special offer. Go to their website, toddscurrysauce.com, use code Pizza King, and get 10% off your next order. I promise you, you only need to try it one time. It's going to be the best curry sauce you ever tasted in your life. You're going to start putting it on all kinds of stuff in your shop, even at home. I got a bottle in the pantry here at the house. I got a bottle at the shop. Elliot, Todd, I need another bottle because I'm putting it everywhere. I'm putting it on everything. So go check it out. Use code Pizza King and get 10% off your next order. Peace. Let's get back to it. Well, welcome to the Pizza King podcast. We've been chatting a little bit, but man, this was a real fun. This is gonna be a real fun conversation because it's something a little bit different for us. My boy Dodie, Pizza King of Texas, sent me a video a couple of days ago and said, "Bro, we got an anthem." And when I saw it, I saw the Pizza Man video, and I'm here to introduce you to the man himself, to the Pizza Man himself, Hitmaker Steve Dyson. Welcome to the Pizza King podcast.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. You know what, man? Quick, I'm gonna hit you with a wardrobe change already, man.
Do it.
I ain't out here representing. I gotta get right on here.
The merch, man. I love it all, bro. The video is crazy.
Thank you,
the
brother.
video is crazy. The song is great. Tell us who you are and how you came up with this. And if anybody hasn't seen it, I'll post a link, but just pause this and go watch the Pizza Man video right now.
Please. Yeah, man. Steve Dyson, man. I go by Hitmaker Steve, located in Tampa Bay. An independent artist, man. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Before I even went to college, man, I had big dreams. I was selling, CDs out of high school, out the back of the trunk. I was in a little group and we were like, yo, we're going to go to school. We're going to learn how to take care of the money. And then we're going to go on tour. We had big plans, the whole nine. And, of course, life happened and, everybody went their separate ways. And, here it is later, man, 20 years, man, the bug just never died for me. And you watch one too many YouTube videos and too many motivational speakers out there. And all of a sudden you start getting a little delusional, like, you know what, man, I might still be able to, do this or something, man. And, I just been collecting the gear. I'm in the studio right now. I got all my stuff. I got too much stuff that's just been collecting dust. So it's like, yo, it's time to brush it off. So yeah, man, I dropped my first project last year and, just a little album, crazy, man. I ended up actually getting a feature with La Russell. It was a crazy year last year, man, when I was like, yeah, we can talk about it too. But yeah, man, just God working some things out. The timing seemed to be right. And, I put that first project out and was like, you know what, I think I'm going to keep going with this. And that actually led to Pizza Man, man. I was actually cooking up my second album. And, obviously we're in the day and age of content, right? So it's like, yo, we got to get some visuals. We got to put together a whole marketing rollout, the whole nine. And so I'm sure you're familiar with the University Mall, right? Like they're kind of like flipping the place, right? So I don't know if they shut the whole mall down or what, but they're like converting a lot of that space to like a WeWork type of situation. So, I started looking for
they had like a content studio over there.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So I found out about View, the content studio over there, and I'm like, yo, this looks so cool. They got the big screens. Let me call them up. And, it dawned on me at that moment that I don't know what I'm doing with a camera. So I was like, all right, I don't really know what I'm doing. But thankfully enough, they connected me to a local videographer. And, we chatted for a little bit. I told him what I wanted to do. Like, hey, I got an album. It's going to be a huge album. I got like 20 songs. We got to do 20 different, I need content for the whole year. I had this big, massive plan. And they were cool with it. Like, okay, you know, we could chop it up. We can do whatever. And then they sent me some of their work, and the work was so good. I was like, nah, we're not gonna rush this. Let me boil this down. So I scaled it back from like, we're going to do, 20 songs to like, all right, we're going to do 5 songs. And the more I started working through those 5 songs, to man was just the most cinematic. Like I could see the whole thing. I could see the whole video. And that's kind of how the song came to me, man. We can get into that too. But anyway, yeah, man, the video was so in my head from the time even before I even recorded the song, And so we'll get into a little bit of my pizza background too, man. That
I seen the skills in the video. I'm like, no, he ain't acting.
Hey, man, the cheese sprinkling, that's all me. That's I do my own stunts, But yeah, man, I know we got a little bit of time. So I'm excited about it though, man.
Yeah.
Pizza's played a huge part of my life ever since I can remember. I can remember my 3rd birthday, being overseas in England. Yeah, my pops was in the military, so we traveled quite a bit. And I just remember Power Rangers and Pizza Hut. Like that was the must-have, It's been a staple in my life, man. And, one night I'm sitting here, cooking up some pizza for the family. We try to do pizza maybe once or twice a week. My wife's Italian, so that's right up her alley.
Pizza in the blood.
Pieces in the blood, man, and crazy enough, man, we got some like sensitivities in the family. So we had to find like some alternative cheese that's lactose free. And like, we're making special, tomato, paste, sauce for the girls. And my wife actually home makes the dough from home. I brought, I had to bring some fries, but just so people know this is the real deal, right? This is like some imported stuff, some fresh grade flour there. I won't go into the details because I don't understand it, but apparently it's really good stuff and it's pretty clean. It's not gluten-free, but it's like really close to gluten-free. And yeah, so she's making the dough here at the house. I got my earbuds on because I'm listening to like the R&B Money podcast. I like to get in the zone when I'm making my pies, man, so the kids go play. Everybody leave me alone. I got to get my cheese grater going, the whole night. And anyway, so I'm sitting there listening to Tank, kind of get on his piano. He starts doing these runs and, a certain segment of the show where he starts singing, and I turned it off and I was just laughing and like it put a smile on my face. And next thing I know, man, this line came to me that was like, yo, carry out or delivery. Either way, it comes with chivalry. I was like, yo, that's kind of fly. And almost immediately, man, I could see the picture of, LeBron before the games, man. He's got the chalk and he like throws it up in the air. And I just pictured like the fly. It's like I saw the movie right then. I was like, I got flour and I'm throwing it in the air. The pizza man is here. Yeah, man, fell in love with the song. It just made me laugh. So I didn't even, I took that idea, I recorded it in my voice notes and I let it sit for a few months. And, when I sat down to start trying to compile songs for the album, this song just jumped out at me. And, I sat down, made the beat, started putting down the piano, and I was like, yo, this is it. We got to roll with it. So fast forward, man, we went all in on it. I was like, forget all the other songs right now. We just going to drop a single. I'm doubling down on the pizza, man. I was like, I love the character. I love the story. I'm excited to drop it. And like, beknownst to me, we're dropping it in the middle, it's National Pizza Month.
Pizza Month.
I didn't even know that, in 2025, we got a pizza war going on in TikTok. So I was like, man, I gotta get outside, man. So I started hitting everybody up. That's how I got in touch with Doty, man. Shout out Doty. He was showing love on the song. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if he told you there might be an official remix coming out, man. He told me he got some bars for me. So
I believe it. Doty is so Doty's a content king, number one, and pizza king, but he's a content monster. So I already know he already cooking the remix.
Yes, sir. I'm excited to hear, man.
And I've been all around the house. I'm your pizza man. Everybody, you the pizza dog, you the pizza mom, you the pizza kid. I've been humming all week.
It's beautiful, bro. I got my 2 baby girls, man. My daughter tripped me out. She, oh, you pizza man. That's how she sings it back to me. So, they love little Steve. My son here, they love bobbing his hand, and so y'all got me messed up. I told you I got problems. Man. Y'all got me out here practicing my dough spins. I didn't know
you getting into the pizza war too.
I'm trying to, bro. I'm trying to get my game up. I can't touch them though, but I'm like, yo, it's a community out here though, man. Like pizza is serious, man, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Man, but I love the fact that you cooked up the song while cooking up pizza. So this was just the natural evolution of things.
Like it came
And
from my soul.
so from that point, how long did it take to bring the whole vision together? Because I like that I'm listening to that creative process. It was,
For sure.
I'm humming a tune, I grab a line, I visualize what the whole scene looks like, and then comes the actual track. And I think people would probably misunderstand that process, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, you write the song, then we think about how we're going to do the video. But
Yeah.
you took it from a totally different creative point. How did that process play out for you?
Most def, man. It's a little bit of an adaptation for myself, man, just trying to wrap my head around that, because I am much more visual with my creative and when my songs come to me. And, I'll say it's kind of rare for a song to come to me in that, like, for the moment, the first line came to me, it was like I could see the entire video. And, I didn't think to act on it right then and there. I didn't trip. I just recorded, the little melodies in my phone, and it just kind of kept, building on itself. But when it came time to like actually do the treatment for the video, like I actually, my wife, she's a project manager. Thank God for her, man. She keeps me straight. We put a little Canva together, and I basically just wrote the entire script for like, yo, this is the scene here. I took like a Final Cut Pro class back in high school, one semester. I was like, guys, I'm sorry if this is like all the wrong terminology and all the wrong way to do this, but like, this is the best way I could try to communicate this. They literally just copied and pasted it and brought it on set. And so we had our set list right then and there. So the vision didn't change from the time it came to me, and I'm up there making the dough, getting ready for pizza night. It was like I saw it instantaneously and I never changed it. So that was kind of unique for me, but it's like I'm putting two and two together. Like, again, we're in a much more like visual, content driven state now, which, looking back, music for a long time has been much more visual than it is audio. I'm just starting to wise up to like, yo, Steve, if you really want to give your music a chance to be heard, like you have to allow it to be seen as well. So yeah, man, that's kind of how that came together. And I just honored it. And I just moved all the other songs that didn't have that clear of a vision. It was like, all right, get them out of the way, because you're working with really talented people. Like, just double down, invest in this, and make this the best that you can. So like, this is my first music video. This is my first time working with a videographer, like my first time ever putting something together like this. And I'm thrilled, man.
So and for anyone who hasn't seen it, I'm telling you, pause it and go watch it, because for this to be your first one, I'm shocked, because the quality and, just I don't know, man, it's professional. And for you to say, look, to have that trust and that confidence in yourself to say, I'm trusting my vision and we going all in with this. And then the final product turns out like that. Congratulations, because I know that a lot of people probably fear that moment. Like, how did you know that I need to trust what I'm doing? Because, and also I can obviously see that it took a significant investment, not just money, but time and energy and thought processes and all of that. Like, how did you know that, okay, this is ready. This is it.
Now you right on the money, man. And, shout out to the entrepreneurs, man. Like, music is a business, right? And so I'm constantly analyzing the market, trying to see what other independent artists are doing, what the majors are doing. And, everybody's talking about AI now and, the ability to create content and music at such high scale. And, honestly, the only thing that's going to stand out is your ability to tell unique stories and your ability to be memorable, And so at that moment in time, it was like, this is a storyline that is authentically me. I know I can tell it the way I want to tell it. It's memorable. It's a character. It's been a humbling experience for me as a musician and as a songwriter. Like, yo, bro, people like movies more than they like music. But the difference is people will only watch a film once or twice, unless it's like their, favorite. They might watch it a handful of times over the course of their life. But if people really like a film, they'll listen to the soundtrack forever, like that longevity, that repeatability, right? And so it was just like, okay, I like this song more than I even thought I would. It was funny, but now it's actually kind of dope. I love the character. I can see exactly who it is. It's me. I mean, even the bobblehead, when it got here, man, I was like, bro, that's you. That's like, my spirit is in this thing, man. We got the same smile, everything, bro. So it was like, okay, this checks that box for me as well. And I was like, musically, whether I think it's my best song, my greatest song or not, in the past, present, or future, like either way, this is a vision that I think can come together and stand on its own and find its audience. And yeah, man, you're absolutely right, though. It takes a lot of courage to double down on something and invest in yourself and say like, no, this is the direction we're going to go. The props, the creative, the wardrobe, the storyline, the music, everything, man. It's like, all right, we're investing in ourselves. So definitely took some courage.
If you've gotten any value out of this episode or any of our other episodes, I need you to do me a favor. Go leave us a review. Every review on Apple, every 5-star rating on Spotify helps this show find more operators just like you and helps them get that same value that you're taking away from this episode. And as a thank you, anytime somebody leaves a review, sends me a screenshot, just DM me a screenshot of your review, I'm going to send you a free gift, something awesome, something cool. I'll send you a gift, whoever leaves a review. That's the challenge. Go leave a review, DM me a screenshot of it, and then I'll get you something. I got you something special from your boy. Now let's get back into the episode. Peace. I love that you even said that music is a business, and I see you as an artist. You are a brand. I see the hat. I see little Steve.
Yeah, man.
Your namesake Junior over there.
That's right, my son.
How do you constantly stay connected to that message? Like, you want to present a certain brand and a certain message to the people to introduce them to who you are, especially now with a great video. What is it that you want people to know about you through this brand?
Yeah, man, I think ultimately, and I've just been mulling this over more and more, because it stares you in the face all the time. Like, as an artist, when you start putting stuff out there, you turn the microphone on, as it's like, yo, people are seeing this now, and I got to be able to stand by whatever it is that I'm putting out. And I think at the end of the day, man, the type of content that I want to put together, my music, the videos, everything, like, I want to bring value, and not just like, it's kind of weird, man. Like, I hope to pull things out of other people who consume my content, right? Like, I think I kind of described it like we're all trying to get to our best self, whatever version of ourselves that is. And like, the most, for me, and I think probably most people, like, the most attractive content is whatever I'm consuming that I feel like is going to put a tool or something in my wheelhouse that's going to help me get closer to that version of myself, right? And so it was like, I started evaluating just how you can affect people. And it can be, you can add value to people by making them laugh. You can add value to people by giving them, a life hack or, a solution for, a particular problem that might, they might be facing right now. And yeah, I think, my music is positive. I think I'm trying to push the envelope for musicians, especially for hip hop entrepreneurs, man, songwriters. Like, there's this whole crazy move right now of like people who've been in the background, whether it's songwriters, hip hop heads, or, just people who make urban music, pop music, doesn't matter, man. Like, we really didn't have the access to turn the microphone and the cameras on ourselves, and it's almost kind of unconventional. Like, I don't even know if it's like, for as many people who are doing it now, it's still almost like that's not normal for like a songwriter. Like, they just came out with a show on Netflix called Hitmakers. Again, It's just my year, man. It's my year to come out. Hitmakers, man, is like, for like the first time, songwriters are people who are actually cutting these records or on television and like telling their story and talking about, the process. And I just think, we're getting to see much more behind the scenes, than we ever have before. So, for me, man, like, it's music. I enjoy it. It's a gift. I'm thankful for it. But I'm looking for ways to impart things in people. So some of the songs, get a little bit deeper and challenge the listener to, be a little bit more retrospective or introspective. But all in all, man, I want you to move. I want you to have fun. I want you to feel good about yourself. It might be, some swag, some confidence. Certainly for this song, man, it was just like, yo, if I walked in my alter ego, that alternate universe, when I told my mom, I used to play ball, and I told my mom, I was like, look, Mom, I'm either going to the league or I'm working at Pizza Hut. Cause I was like, yo, that's the perfect play for me. Like, if I don't make it to the league, I'm always gonna eat, because I don't know how to make the pizzas. I'm sure we're gonna have some left over. Like, I had a whole plan figured out, And for me, man, it's just to bring a smile to people's faces and tell the story the best way that it can be told. Like, we need to push boundaries. I think hip hop is kind of hard too, because like we've kind of isolated ourselves into like, okay, we can only be this character. We could be 3 of these different characters. And I'm like, nah, guys, like, there's a plethora of opportunities to tell different stories and that are going to resonate with people in different ways. And like, let's branch out. Let's push the envelope. Let's own our craft. Like it's still hip hop. It's still dope. You can still make dope music and talk about a various amount of things. So those are some of the things that are top of mind for me.
I love that. One of the similarities between music and pizza making, I had a guest on, actually, Rick Gruber was on the other day, and he talked about it takes so much patience to be a baker and to build a business and to really do pizza the right way. And I'm listening to you. You say you had to write, you write your own lyrics, you creating your own music, you laying down the piano and the drums and doing all of these processes. And I know it takes time. How do you get past perfectionism in order to move to the product? Because I know, I just know just from talking to you, like it's got to be right. And you're doing it all yourself. How do you work through that process on your own?
You have no idea how much sleep I lost before I put the record out. Just like trying to, do I pull it down? I found this one imperfection. I found this one, and honestly, like the record is not perfect for me. Like I listen to it now and I'm like, man, I would change this. I would go back and change it. And we live in a digital age where I'm thankful, like, if you want to, you can. But at the time I was like, look, like we're so invested on the video. I've got the team. We're pushing it. Like Steve, the record's good enough to do and convey the message and do what you want it to do. So like, don't now go back and like stall putting out another record. This is the only record I've put out like this year, since my last record, my album like 12 months ago. So it's like, yo, buddy, it's time to get the momentum, stop coming up with the excuses. Of course, I take the time to try to put my best work forward, but I'm sure you've heard, done is better than perfect. So.
Yeah. It takes done to refine too, right? Then now you get a chance to listen to it from a different perspective. You're no longer working on it. It's out there. Now what would I do different? And it sounds like there's some remixes and some other, other opportunities to continue to tweak, right?
Well, Steph,
I gotta get, right. Can I get in a remix video? I'm close to you.
Can. Of course.
I'll travel wherever you want me to go.
You got it, bro.
I want to be in the video.
I couldn't believe, I thought you were in like Orlando or something. And so when I started looking and then I was going through the videos, I heard you say West Shore Pizza. And I was like, is he over this way? And sure enough, man, you right here, man. Are you a Tampa native?
No, I'm from Michigan originally, but I've been here in Tampa and Brandon since 2003. We just sold our store, but I used to own the West Shore location in Brandon for 13 years. And yeah, thank you. And I worked for West Shore since 2003. Still continuing to work with West Shore. So I'm a pizza head for sure. And a Tampa pizza head for sure.
Wow, man.
That was pretty cool to know that you're here. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you were in Tallahassee, but it just came. My wife, she said it too. She goes, he got the Crocs on like y'all. He got like, you a pizza guy.
Hey man, it's like my spirit animal came out or something, man. I can't tell you.
What's Lil Steve have on it? If Lil Steve making his own pizza, what's his go-to toppings on the pizza?
Man, sometimes we keep it simple. Just, it got to have at least pepperoni on it. But, I'm a meat lovers fan too, so if I could get a couple proteins on there, I'm happy.
That put some protein on the pie. Yeah, what's your favorite lyric in the song?
Man.
Because you got some bars in there and you got some humor in there. Like, what's your favorite lyric?
I appreciate you listening to the lyrics, man. Honestly, I always get excited about the Crocs part of the song, man. Pull up hot and ready. I'm so bad about my songs, man. I write them and I forget them, but what I said, pull up Crocs, pull up hot and ready, sauce and heavy. It was me, Crocs and Betty. Boy, she petty.
Yeah.
And like every time I hear that line, man, it just makes me smile, man. And when I saw it in the video, I was like, yo, make sure y'all zoom in on the Crocs, get the little pizza tokens on there, and it came out perfect.
That's a good part. And the car, like a delivery car, like it was all intentional. And I'm telling you, when I seen you I could see how you were saucing it. I said, oh, he made some pizzas before. Yeah. He making pizza. This is.
Full disclaimer, man, it is hard to make a pizza and perform to a camera, man. I was so embarrassed. Like I was sweating, bro. Thankfully, the team, they cut it just right. But like if you see some of the footage of like what the pizza actually looked like before they came in and juiced it up for me, I was like,
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, y'all. Like I swear I do this at home, like at least once a week. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but like you try to maintain, you try to perform, you try to remember your verse, your lyrics, and you try to make the pie. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. But shout out to one of the producers on set, man, one of the directors. My man worked at Little Caesars for 6 years.
Mm.
And so I was like, thank you, God, for that. Like my man had the experience. He was building boxes at light speed because I had like 50 to 100 boxes. He was building them like nothing. I would have still been building the boxes right now if I had to do it myself. So shout out to him, man. He actually came in. He like made the dough just perfect. He instructed me on like what to do with the sauce. And I think that helped too with the creative eye. Some of those slow motion shots, like he knew exactly how to move the camera and pull it out. So shout out to them, man. It all came
The pizza
together.
community again, again for the win.
Come on.
What did you learn through this, creative and productive process, bringing it all together? What was the biggest lesson you learned in that?
Man, just trusting others, like, my music is my baby, right? So I hover over it. And, as so many entrepreneurs, there's that separation of like working on the business versus working in the business, right? And so I try to get my hands on as many things as possible because I love the process, but that collaborative effort, around the video really took it to the next level, man. Like I had the image in my mind and like I was able to, give the thumbs up when they pulled it together. But some of those ideas, man, like once they got excited about it, they helped take it to that next level where, when we all put the set together, we all kind of stood back and were like, whoa, like we can collectively see it now. I wouldn't have thought to put that pizza box and set it up this way, or I wouldn't have set the table that way. And I didn't think to catch the camera angle, or I thought the shot should go this way, but one of the directors had another vision about it, or the guy who was holding the camera freestyled something and he, angled the camera up or angled it down or something. And just to see other people's input compound into something that was even better than what I saw in my mind was like, okay, it's about finding the right people, trusting them, putting them in position and, you might get something better than you thought.
Yeah. How do you bring those lessons and that learning into what you create next?
Yeah, man. I think it's already started, man. I'm out in social media more, collaborating with more people, more producers, more artists. It's funny enough, man. Pizza Man has allowed me, it's opened up some doors. Other people who are in my space have heard the song and they were like, yo, we just love the creativity of it. And people have reached out to me, other independent artists who are dope. And so now we're kind of, networking on how we can support each other. Doing this, what we're doing right now, man, getting more involved with, the pizza community is awesome. Just the education that I'm getting as well as just learning about awesome platforms like yourself, man. Like that gives me an opportunity to turn around and, tell my small community, like, yo, if you're into pizza, like you need to be over here paying attention. If you're into hearing some, you dropping some gems too, man. I was scrolling through and it's like, who couldn't use one more, intelligent, educated, positive voice in their life. So it's allowing me, and I'm just able to absorb more of that energy and more of that information that's going into my next project. So even down to the technical side of it, like there's some guys who are better at doing certain things than I am. And now I can kind of use them as a sounding board that we didn't know each other existed before, putting this record out. So like you said, putting it out and getting something done allows you to continue to refine it, so it's opened up doors already.
It's nice. I need to talk to that film crew you worked with and see if they can help me out with some
I'll put
projects.
you on, man. Absolutely, bro. They're incredible.
But I need your creative brain too. You got a vision. That is very hard for people to do. And in the restaurant game, sometimes you got to see things before it happens, especially if you're building stores and you got to do a kitchen design or you got to decide what a dining room is going to look like or what the decor is going to be. You have to have a vision and see things before it happens. But everyone can't see that. And it's hard. It actually slows the process down trying to constantly retell the vision, restate it, refocus it, and get people aligned to get the project done. So I respect that process. And it sounds like, you guys went through a lot of the same things in doing that.
Most def. And
so
I'm
having,
like,
having vision is a skill. It's a
I
blessing.
don't know if I'm like I put myself in a hard place now because I'm so happy with how things turned out. I'm like, I'm not sure I want to do much, without that collaborative effort and without their expertise. And, they're like I am, man. It was cool just working with people who care so much about their craft and the attention to detail. There were things that like during the first couple of drafts that I'd noticed, but I was like, I'm not gonna call it out yet because I know my man is tightening it up, and I've seen his work, and I know he's gonna put the sauce. I know he's gonna make it right, and it was cool just to see the integrity come from his part, where it was like I didn't have to get breathe down his neck to get it right. So they definitely have made it difficult for me to creatively move without them now. But of course, like you said, it's an investment, right? It takes courage, and so it's I think it's a good problem to have, man, where it's put me in a situation where I'm more methodical about like, all right, like how many projects am I gonna do a year now? How many songs am I gonna put out? How much time am I gonna spend prepping and planning and like what's really my objective and what's my strategy? So it's definitely put me in a spot where I have to think a lot more about what I'm actually trying to do.
Man, it's running a creative business. Now, as you're just saying that, I'm thinking like, how do you even balance, work the balance between being creative and being the administrator of that business?
Prayer and a lot of effort. And honestly, man, I'm learning to take some L's, man, and just be like, you know what? This is a part of the process. Like, you're not going to be good at everything right out the gate, but that doesn't mean you should impede your process or halt your process or your progress, rather. So it's like, even my wife, man, like I mentioned before, like her ability to plan, I'll never be as good of a planner as her, man. It hurts my pride to be like, yo, she got something over me. But I'm like, even this process, like this video would not have happened without her. Like she literally put Canva documents. It was like, for me, it was like it took her 30 seconds to come up with this whole like breakdown spreadsheet, the whole nine. Like, I'm not even lying. Like she got me notes for the podcast that I'm looking at. I'm like, yo, I need you. Like, I'm dependent upon you to use that brain and like help me get organized because it is chaotic up here, man. I'm hearing music all the time, and that drives her crazy because she's like, would you stop beating on stuff? Like, would you stop humming all the time and making noise? So we got different brains, but like even in my marriage, man, it's helping us learn how to work together more as a family. And like, I've gotten so much trust out of her in this process because she helped me turn it around in like no time at all to where I could take my creative vision where I'm just constantly, mumbling to people what I think like, hey, I'm trying to explain the vision. And like, she helped me put it in a format that other people could go like, yeah, okay, we could do this. We see it. So it's been incredibly humbling, man. And like, but the results are speaking for themselves, man. So it's one day at a time.
Was the bobblehead part of the vision from the beginning too?
Bro, I saw it from the fuzzy dice, the bobblehead, like I was in the car. And it's crazy looking back now. I'm like, it must have all hit me at once because I can't tell you when it developed. Like it's almost like it's like it happened yesterday or like it was a dream or something. Like even
You
I
saw the
told the
whole
guys
scene.
on set, I was like, this is the most surreal feeling I've ever had. Like I feel like we're in my head right now. Like the way they had the color just right, the haze, and the mood of it. I was like, I can't tell. I was like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I can't tell if I'm awake right now or if I'm dreaming because this is exactly the way I saw it when it came to me. So yeah, man, it's crazy.
And so from going through that vision, then you have to put all of these peripheral pieces together too. So first there's, you got the whole video process, but then you also have to, create these products and these, and the merchandise that went along with it.
Yeah.
And I hope that I didn't ask, but I hope that all of these things are for sale so that we could like start building that brand out and doing it. Cause I want the sweater. I want the hat. Like what was that process like?
And I'm glad you brought that up too, man. Just speaking about the administrative stuff and like I'm like it's a humbling experience, man. So I actually like I have my own t-shirt company. Like I started my own line. I got my Shopify going, and then like I fought with Facebook trying to run the ads, and like it was a tough time, man. So I ended up closing that business down. But as we were working on the video and I'm putting out the song and everything, I was like, you know what? I started thinking about merch, and I was like, okay, I'm getting overwhelmed. I was like, I'm about to literally stall the creation of the video and releasing the song because I don't feel like I have the infrastructure in place to support the merch right now. And mature, right or wrong, I don't know. But at the moment, I was like, you know what, Steve? You don't even know what the demand is like on merch yet. So don't impede the release of the song and impede the video and everything else, find a creative way or find an intelligent way to share it with people. And if there's some demand there, like figure out how you could take the demand and figure out how you could build that pipeline. So hindsight 2020, I don't know if I'll come to regret it or not, but it's definitely something I'm working on. Not to mention, man, and see, I get in the weeds, man. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to run my own shop or do I want to do some affiliate marketing? So I found all of this through other vendors, like, on Amazon, right? So I got everything in and I'm like, okay, do I want to do a partnership? Do I reach out and say like, hey, here's what I've done creatively with your product? I don't know how much, I don't know how much more I want to take on in terms of administrative work and, managing any returns and customer, people being happy with it or not. So I was like, all right, just right now, get out my head, just get what you need. But it's definitely in the back of my mind, man.
Yeah. Now the good thing is there's so many ways to do it. And, whether it's just about how much of it you want to share and how much you want to do. And that's the balance of it. And,
Facts.
But it's a good problem to have, but I think you should definitely capitalize on that. Thank you.
I love your hat,
you,
by the way.
I got a few. I got you one.
And I want you to know after the show, I'm getting your details, man. I'm gonna send you a little Steve, man. I got you one. It's coming your way.
No, we'll exchange info and I'm right here, so we can definitely make that happen. I got the hat. So I'm just like, and I'm in the same situation, right? And I look at the podcast as my creative expression, right?
For sure.
And there's the time that goes into creating the podcast and recording and editing and refining and all the stuff, the tinkering that I love to do with it. And then there's, putting it out and promoting it and, finding guests and doing it. And, a lot of it comes naturally, but there's like the balance in it. And it's hard. It's hard.
Right.
You want to sell. I don't even really want to sell. I just want to do and talk and give, but I also got to pay these bills.
Come on.
So it's like, I understand the situation, but I'm trying, I'll fight the same battles. And that's why I ask those questions, because I like to know how other people work through those processes too. So thank you, for being open and for sharing that.
Most there.
Let's see what else we got. I'll just go through my questions.
Most there.
All right. So the name Hitmaker.
Yeah.
That's confident, bro. Where did that confidence come from?
It's the lamest answer, but I'm going to be consistent with it now, because hopefully I can have some success down the road and people will say, he told us the exact same thing. Literally, man, when I was dropping my first record, like literally I put a single out just trying to figure out how to even, work with the distributor and get everything out. And so like I've got the Amazon devices here in my house, so I was like, I wonder if I could say my name and like ask her to play one of my songs. So I was like, Alexa, play such and such by Hitmaker Steve. And I came out as my first release was Songmaker Steve. I was trying to be real generic. I was like, I make records. Like I want to be, I guess I was trying to be humble. I just make songs. That's what I do. So I said Songmaker Steve, and she just kept playing Steve so-and-so, Steve so, like, because if in the prompt, it had the word song in it. And so all she was hearing was play song, Steve. And so she would go find a song by some random Steve. And I was like, oh, I've ruined my whole career. Let me go change my name. I didn't know like how fast I could change anything or whatever. So like I ran in real quick and like changed my whole profile. And I was like, okay, what's a word that like won't get confused? That's kind of like Songmaker, and so I became Hitmaker Steve. And now everywhere I go, they're like, oh, you think you that guy? You think you that dog? Like, oh, you a hitmaker? Okay, we gonna see. And I stand by my name.
Came to me naturally. What you want me to do?
Hey, man, it was fate, man. That's how I see it, But no, man, I'm looking back. It's so funny that like it's so natural now, and it's funny. Like I said, just the timing of it. We're seeing what's going on in the industry, and the song or the show coming out on Netflix and whatnot. And like I don't know, I'm in the right place at the right time, man. So I'm a roll with it.
It all aligns, man. Things happen for a reason, right? That's what I say.
That's it.
Man, this is good. Let's see what else we got here. Yep. We talked about process, building some scratch. We talked about all that. What do you want to tell us? So here's my thing. Something that we always do here. We like to give just some real practical advice to anyone who is trying to do their own thing, trying to be an entrepreneur. Mainly people who are trying to open pizzerias or expand a pizza business, but to anybody who's trying to do their own thing and bet on themselves and go all in. what advice would you give?
Right now, man, in the landscape we're in, like recognize that you have an original story to tell. And whatever it is that you're trying to do, like that's your thing. And even if other people don't recognize it for what it is or don't see it, like if you've got that chord that's striking in your heart, that's stirring you up, like take some time and listen to that, man. As you know, I don't have to tell you, like you went on your own journey, you know, any entrepreneur, like not everybody can see the vision. Not everybody can hear what you hear, you know. I had my parents down, a few months ago and just asked them, I was like, yo, y'all don't hear music in y'all head? They're like, no. You know, honestly, Hitmaker Steve would not have happened if I didn't ask my wife a year and a half ago while she's yelling at me for banging on the table, making music, beatboxing. I said, you don't hear music in your head all the time? She said, no. And at that moment, the light bulb came on for me like, yo, maybe this is actually something that I have that not everybody has. When you recognize that all of a sudden you have more patience with yourself, you have more patience with other people, you can give more grace, you work on communication, you work on your communication skills, but because it can be really disappointing to be like, oh, y'all don't see it. Y'all don't hear it. Y'all can't see the vision. Y'all can't, even something like, Pizza Man now, man, like people can touch it now. They can hear it. They can see it. They can experience it. And this all came from, just me, cooking up a pie one night for the fam and stuff that happens to me daily, several times, So yeah, man, have some courage, have enough courage. We've all got something. We've all got something that we bring to the table that's uniquely us. Refine it, dig it out, take some time, discover it, like take some time on you, like stop scrolling for a little bit. We love watching everybody else's life. It's fun. I'm guilty of it. We're excited for other people too, and that's cool. And there's a lot to learn from others, but you got something too. So take that time. And when you find it, and like, for me, man, like this is something that's been with me since I was a kid, man. I had the little keyboard when I was 3. I had the little guitar when I was 4. I played in my high school drums, I played in the drum line, and hindsight is 2020. You look back and you're like, man, I've been consuming so much content about making records and I've been collecting so much gear and I've been like, I got books. So like, bro, it should be obvious that this is what you want to do. And like, and, sometimes, I'm not going to say like you should try to throw things away or whatever, but like, it's one of those things where I'm like, yo, I think Mark Cuban said, don't follow your passions, follow your efforts. And it's one of those things for me that I'm like, I'm married now. I've got kids. I've got bills. Life happens. I've got jobs. I've got things in my life I like, things I don't like. But one thing is for sure, the music is still here and it's still present and like it never changed. And it's like, all right, okay, cool. I'm going to double down on that. I'm going to discover that and see how far I can take it. So that's my advice to anybody, man. Look within yourself, find out what's your thing, whether people can see it or not, like give people grace, and it might be your thing long term.
That's great advice. That's great advice. You play ball too. What positions you play?
Shooting. Well, see, I was like a combo guard. I was kind of stocky too. Everybody thought I played football, so I played like 2 through 5. I didn't want to play the 1. Those guys were too fast, man. It's too much work. Yeah, man. What about yourself, man? You hoop?
2 through 5, not well. I got an all-time park records.
There you go.
But yeah, man, I love hoop though. I love hoop. So
yeah, man.
Most important position on the court then.
And you got to put points on the board, man. I was the shooting guard. I like to shoot, man. And it's just so funny how it all works out, man. I really thought, like I had a couple looks to play some small schools. I actually went to the University of South Florida, just confidently going like, oh, I'm going to walk on. Like, I'm going to go there. And, it's Big East at the time. I was like, that's a great place if you want to try to make it to the league. Like, they're playing against some awesome schools, and there's room to, to show your talent. So I came down here and like literally met my wife at orientation before I could meet anybody. And so like, forget basketball. I'm in love.
Right. As soon as you got to USF, wow.
That's it, bro. Didn't even make it to tryouts, nothing, man. I met her the first day and like we've been by each other's side ever since. So it's like, I always tell her like, you the reason I didn't make it. Like I would have made it if you would have let your boy do his thing, I would have made it. But
now she the reason you are making it.
That's it, bro. And hindsight 2020, man, you know, like I tell people all the time, man, like she's held me down since day one. Literally, when I couldn't afford, I had enough money to buy one of my studio monitors. And like she surprised me and like was like, I'll go in with you so you can get your speakers, so you can work on your music. And like she was with me when I bought my first microphone down at Sam Ash, Guitar Center over in Clearwater. Like, and you know, whether she knows it or not, like I'm sure she knows it, man. But she has supported me in ways where it's like, thank you, God, for her and just that confirmation. And now that we're getting to work together on bigger projects, man, it's such a blessing.
Let's go a couple top fives before we get out of
Let's
here.
do it.
Top five shooting guards of all time.
So you're gonna get me in trouble, man. Ooh,
because there's some shooting guards that might not be shooting guards on that list, right?
I was gonna ask, was MJ technically a shooting guard? Was he a 2?
Yeah, I think Mike's a 2.
If I had to guess, I'd say he was a 2. Scotty probably played the power forward. So I got to put the GOAT on there. I got to say MJ. Man, Paul Pierce comes to mind, man. I looked up to him so much when I was a kid, when the Celtics were having their run, man. He could do no wrong. Gosh, man. I'm a terrible fan, too. Like, I was always the guy that was like, nah, I don't want to watch. I want to play. You know, but
I know.
You know, another mind is Kawhi Leonard. Is he a 2, man?
I think it depends on which team.
He kind of big, though.
I don't think he was a 2 on that Spurs team, but I feel like he's a 2 on the Clippers team.
Maybe on the Clippers, yeah.
You know what I mean? But on those Spurs teams, Ginobili was a 2. Kawhi was kind of the 3.
Yeah, Ginobili was nice too. Man, you got me going down. I haven't gone down this rabbit hole in a long time, man.
No Kobe? Is Kobe a 2?
Kobe a 2. Kobe's a 2 for sure. For sure. Got to put him on the list, man.
Here's one that we argue about all the time with my fellas, with my boys. Iverson. Is Iverson 1 or 2?
You were reading my mind.
Put the ball in the hole.
Who was pushing the rock? Was Snow on the? Was Eric Snow on the team when Iverson
Snow? He had Snow for a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to think what other point guards they had, but Eric Snow's the one that come to mind.
I was gonna say I feel like Snow was bringing the rock up, so I think we could slide AI in that 2 spot because he was letting that thing go, man. He was putting points on the board. So I'm gonna say AI. What's that 4? Yeah, we got to put it 5. Man. See, I'm going completely back to my childhood, man. Like, so was T-Mac a 2?
I think T-Mac was a 2.
I feel like T-Mac was a 2.
I think T-Mac would call himself a 2.
On the wing, right?
He could. I think he would. I would say he's probably, a 2, a big 2, but a 2.
I like that 5 right there. I know after this call, but man,
you're going to be thinking about, So, we talk about Iverson. We go back and forth on Iverson a lot, and we go back and forth on Steph a lot. But to me, Steph's a total point guard. He just a scoring point guard.
And honestly, I didn't put him in the shooting guard category because he's the greatest shooter of all time for me. So I'm like, I almost separated him from, he gets his own, like he's over there with Ray Allen. Like I put shooters on a separate mountain.
He changed the game.
Crazy, man.
He changed the game.
Crazy.
Unreal. All right, top 5. Your go-to 5 artists. Like if you had to build a playlist and you got the full catalog from 5 artists, what 5 artists are you choosing?
I'm gonna go with, and it's like the same with playing ball for me. I'm like, I try to listen to as little of other people's music as possible because I'm like precious about my own creative space, but I'm like an A&R at the same time. So I'm like, if I'm outside and I hear somebody else's music enough time, I'm like, okay, they must be popping. Let me go check them out.
Let me see who they are. Yeah.
That's right. I got to give Ross some love. J. Cole has played a major part in the last 20 years for me. Kendrick, Drake, man. I'm going to say Lil Wayne, man. Like, cause I feel like everybody I named, like Wayne had his own like era. And then those other 4 who I just named kind of came after that.
Yeah. I think
Wayne's a milestone for me.
Hey, so we were having this conversation, me and my wife. She says, because I always we'd like do these top 5s. And I always used to say like, oh, Jay-Z's my number 1. Jay-Z's number 1.
Right.
And she goes, you always say Jay-Z's number 1, but I ain't never really heard you listen to anything but Lil Wayne.
Come on.
Like, I guess if you think about what I've listened to over the years, I've listened to
Right.
more Lil Wayne than anything. Is it because Wayne just made more music during his heyday? Or is it
Right.
just because I loved it that much? I
I'm
don't know.
telling you, man, that star power, man. And that it's kind of funny. I feel like the industry is kind of reflecting back to that early 2000s, like with all the shows that are coming out now. Like a lot of people from my age, probably your age too, man, like we missed kind of that late 90s, early 2000s. Like, I don't know. There was kind of like a golden era for like just music in
To me,
general.
that was the best era of music. And you can still hear it like daily. You still hearing
Absolutely.
music from that era. You
That's
go
right.
to a football game or a basketball game, they playing Lil Jon,
That's right.
they still playing that music. It's still relevant. Even social media, you
100%.
scrolling, you still hearing it. So like to
100%.
me, it was the best era of music and
I
sports.
agree. I agree.
So no, this is a lot of fun. Steve, please tell the people where they can find you, where they can follow, how they can connect with you, because, I just love what you're doing. I love the passion that you got into your music and into your art, man. And I want to do everything we can. So everybody listening, make sure y'all go follow, go share. He's going to tell y'all where to find him.
Yeah, I'm not hard to find, y'all. Hitmaker Steve, one word on all platforms, man. So wherever you enjoy music, wherever you scrolling, I'm there. So come find your boy.
There it is. Thanks again for this. And we're going to have to make sure we link up real soon here.